Hello, today I want to show you how I made the frame and the sentiment for this card. Now the frame is done with one of Couture Creations Cut, Foil and Emboss dies, and it's the Nesting Butterfly frame set. Okay, it's part of the Modern Essentials collection, and that's a 3-part set. It comes with this frame and a smaller inner frame and a butterfly. Okay, and these are quite different as regards dies because they have these raised lumps and bumps. Let me get the camera to focus on that. There we are, you see. And those raised flat areas are not cutting edges. They transfer foil or ink onto your card at the same time as die cutting. Okay, it's easier to see on my sentiment. This is the sentiment I've used. It's part of the same system. So you can see it's got the flat areas and the cutting line around the outside. Okay, and some of them have cutting lines that cut out bits from in the middle as well, but this one doesn't. Okay, so for this card I've used, as I say, the frame, and then I've used the second layer down to cut out an aperture in the middle of the frame after I've cut it, and then I've placed my sentiment in the middle. Okay, so let's have a look at that process. So I'm going to show you on the sentiment because that's nice and small. Okay, I've got some pigment inks here. So all you need to do is ink gently, and don't push down too hard because you only want to ink the top surface. I say you only have to ink lightly. And if you want, you can use more than one colour. And if you think you've got too much ink, you can just use a blending tool just to take off some excess. Maybe smooth it out a bit. Let me focus so you can see what I'm doing. And zoom the camera in. Lots. Oh, too much. Just move the camera a bit. I'll take it back just a little bit. There we are. That's it. So, yes, when you ink, just gentle taps. And as I say, if you use a blending tool, and just kind of tap, it'll help smooth the ink out. And make sure you haven't got too much. Okay, again, not pressure, just kind of letting the weight of the tool sit on it. Okay, so from there I need to transfer it to my cutting plate. Now don't ink it on your cutting plate because you'll end up with ink everywhere. So I'm just going to slide this from my piece of kitchen paper I've got here onto my cutting mat, onto my cutting plate. Okay, and then I've got 2 different sorts of card. To begin with, this is an offcut of the card I use to make my card blanks. So I'm just going to place that on top, put my other cutting plate on, and then transfer that onto my die cutting machine, which for me is a Big Shot Plus. There we are. Wind that through. Okay, let me just move the camera back. And zoom in. There, so you can see on here it's transferred the ink and it's cut out. Literally cut out. Okay, so let me do that again using some stamping card. So remember, you don't want the dye on your cutting plate when you're inking. So I've just tipped it off onto some kitchen paper. Let's just reposition my camera. That's better. Maybe I'll try. Yeah, okay. I want to get that so it's you can see exactly what I'm doing. So let me go for the same colour again. Yes, I think that was that one I used. So let me do the same again. So I'm going to tap my ink on. Maybe just let it rest a moment for the ink to transfer. It really doesn't look like there's much on there. I've got a hair or something on there. I'm just going to try and get that off. Okay, let me re-ink that bit. So I'm not pressing really hard with the ink pad. And then I'm just going to even it out with my blending tool. And then transfer to my cutting plate. Slide that over. This is stamping card, or smooth watercolour card does the same thing. It's just reactive inks differently. Okay, so I just put that on the big shot. Yeah, that's very zoomed in, isn't it? That's better. Okay, so I'm just going to run that through. Okay, so there we are. So this is the result using stamping card. I'm just going to put that over there. Okay, so if I think I get a better result using the stamping card. So that's my normal card, my offcut from my card blank, and this is my stamping card one. And as I say, they're very similar. I'll try and bring them both in. Let me take them a bit further away. Refocus, that's it. Okay, so they're very similar, but I think the ink has a smoother finish on the stamping card. Just my opinion. Okay, so that's how I did my sentiment. Now I've got ink all over my die here, so I could do with cleaning that. So to clean it, I just like to spritz it with some water and use a piece of kitchen towel. You could run it under the tap, use a baby wipe. You know, it's a piece of metal. Not much you can do to damage it. Well, you can bend it, but you know what I mean. It's for just getting the ink off. There. So, one clean die. Okay, so going back to the card, you see I've got my frame around the outside, and that's done exactly the same. It's just bigger. Okay, and I used a combination of ink colours on mine, because when I did it with a uniform colour, none of them quite matched in with the tones in the paper, and I find if I used a mixture it worked colour wise. So that's what I did. So my foliage here is from the Le Petit Jardin collection. It's the Evening Branch die. Find that a really useful little die. You know, it can be berries at Christmas and leaves or buds. You know, whatever you need it to be, it seems to just work depending on what kind of colour and finish you use it for. Okay, and I've just added some die cut flowers. Okay, so that's my card. Thank you for watching.